Spider-Man Far From Home is a 2019 American superhero film based on the Marvel comic books character Spider-Man, co-produced by Columbia Pictures and Marvel Studios, and distributed by Sony Pictures Releasing. It is the sequel to Spider-Man Homecoming in 2017 and the 23rd film in the Marvel Cinematic Universe. The film is directed by Jon Watts, written by Chris McKenna and Erik Sommers, and stars Tom Holland as Peter Parker, Spider-Man. In the film, Parker is recruited by Nick Fury, played by Samuel L. Jackson, and Mysterio, played by Jake Gyllenhaal, to face the Elementals while he is on a school trip in Europe. Discussions for a sequel to Spider-Man Homecoming began in October 2016, and the project was confirmed later that year. Holland, Watts, and the writers were all set to return by the end of 2017. In 2018, Jackson and Gyllenhaal joined the cast as Fury and Mysterio, respectively. Holland revealed that the sequel's title ahead of the filming, which began that July, took place in England, the Czech Republic, Italy, and New York's metropolitan area. Production wrapped in October of 2018. The marketing campaign is one of the most expensive for a film ever and attempted to avoid revealing spoilers for Avengers Endgame prior to its release in April of 2019. Spider-Man Far From Home premiered at the TCL Chinese Theatre on June 26, 2019, and was theatrically released in the United States on July 2nd as the last film in Phase 3 of the MCU. The film received positive reviews, with praise for its humor, action sequences, visuals, and the performances of Holland and Gyllenhaal. It grossed over $1.1 billion worldwide, making it the first Spider-Man film to pass the billion-dollar mark, and the fourth highest-grossing film of 2019, and became Sony Pictures' highest-grossing film and the 24th highest-grossing film of all time. A sequel, Spider-Man No Way Home, was released in December of 2021. The cast includes Tom Holland as Peter Parker Spider-Man, a high school junior and Avenger who received spider-like abilities after being bitten by a radioactive spider. Director Jon Watts said that in contrast to Spider-Man Homecoming, in which Parker longs for responsibilities of an adult, in Far From Home he wants to hang out in his youth, saying, "This is a film about the world telling him, it's time for you to step up and grow up, kid." And he's saying, "But I still just want to be a kid and go on vacation." Samuel L. Jackson as Nick Fury, the former director of S.H.I.E.L.D., who is now in a situation where he does not have the level of control he is used to having. Watts describes Fury's relationship with Parker as a mean new stepdad, contrasting his role with Tony Stark as a supportive cool uncle in Homecoming, saying Fury sees Peter Parker as an asset that he needs, and that he is way too preoccupied with a bunch of high school problems. Watts originally pitched Fury as a mentor to Parker in Homecoming. Zendaya as Michelle M.J. Jones-Watson, Parker's classmate and love interest. Jon Favreau as Happy Hogan, the head of security for Stark Industries and a former driver and bodyguard of Tony Stark, who looks after Parker. Watts noted that Happy would be used to explore the idea of trying to find your place in the world if the center of your world is gone, giving his close relationship with Stark. Marisa Tomei as May Parker, Parker's aunt, who is aware of his secret identity and wants him to be Spider-Man more so he can help with charitable causes. And Jake Gyllenhaal as Quentin Beck, or Mysterio, a former Stark Industries employee and a holographic illusion specialist who masquerades as a superhero from Earth 833 in the multiverse. He's recruited by Nick Fury to help Spider-Man stop the Elementals. Gyllenhaal shared the ideas with the writers regarding the character's personality and was drawn to the idea that Beck is manipulating everyone's love of superheroes and their need for superheroes. Gyllenhaal wanted to play the character's fake backstory as realistically as possible. Regarding Beck's relationship with Parker, Watts says that if Tony Stark was sort of a mentor in the previous films, we thought it'd be interesting to play Mysterio as almost like the cool uncle. Watts was excited to have Beck team with Fury and Parker as it introduced the character to the MCU in a way people weren't expecting. Now, frankly, I found Spider-Man Far From Home to be the weakest in the trilogy. For me, in some ways, it's like a teen road trip comedy that occasionally turns into a superhero movie, as if the guys was like writing it and thought, oh yeah, we're supposed to be dealing with Spider-Man here. For me, this film almost acts like it's trying to clean up the mess that Avengers Endgame left behind, and it really acts like sort of a filler to end Phase 3 of the MCU, so we can put that to bed, and of course now start Phase 4. Tom Holland's Spider-Man doesn't really develop here as a character, and he feels like nothing has changed from the first film, beyond becoming maybe slightly more confident. You'd think, though, after being, of course, disappearing during the snap and losing Tony Stark, he would be a completely different character, but for me, I don't know, Tom Holland doesn't really tap into that perfectly here. The action sequences are well done, as you would expect in all these films, but they just kind of feel plastic and don't really take you anywhere. I've just felt from day one the MCU has never really gotten the Spider-Man character perfectly. For example, if you had to compare this film to the remarkable artistry and animated release Into the Spider-Verse, or just the raw emotion, for example, of Spider-Man 2 and even the original Spider-Man by Sam Raimi, this film tragically falls short. Like I said, they just don't understand the finer nuances and the finer complications of the Spider-Man Peter Parker character. And they're too worried about making a grand scale and are more focused on having Venice, for example, as a backdrop or various locations in Europe than an actual good fundamental story. Now, the character of Mysterio has always been a very complicated and fascinating character. He's by no means one of my favorites within the Spider-Man universe, but in the same breath, though, there are many aspects to this character. Now, Jake Gyllenhaal is a superb actor, and when I saw he was playing the role, I thought it might really work. But here we have a bland, one-dimensional baddie that comes across quite sort of weak and apathetic. A true waste of Gyllenhaal's supreme talents. Look, it might sound like I absolutely hated the film, which I didn't. It's still fundamentally enjoyable to watch, as all the MCU movies are. It's just that I don't feel they're really tapping into the fantastic aspects of the Spider-Man character. And for me, this film was really made to tie up some loose ends after the phenomenal finale that was Avengers Endgame. Disappointing, unoriginal, with a one-dimensional baddie and Peter Parker not evolving enough for me as a character. Spider-Man, Far From Home, gets a 6 out of 10.